It's been several years since I gave an update on my layout, and unlike some people during lockdown I've been working full time, so I haven't had that spare time. I'm very grateful for that, I'm not complaining, but I haven't had the spare time to work on my layout. But here's a few things that have changed over the years, and I'll explain why one of the things has changed. First of all, there's a runaround loop in the main station, and I've extended it slightly, and I've also widened my island platform. The original island platform was only about 4 or 5 centimeters wide, which means a scale sort of 10 feet. And when I had trains going past it at full speed, I thought that's very unrealistic. In real life, you would never have a platform that narrow with trains going by at full pelt. So I've widened it quite a lot. In fact, it's now about, I think it's about 12 centimeters wide. It's a bit too wide for the super quick island platform kit, so I had to widen that slightly. And I adapted one kit, and if you see, I've actually made 2 structures, and it's out of the one kit. And the way I did that was I photocopied the sheets before I cut them all out, and the reverse side, the photocopied side, I've used on the far side facing the other tracks, so I can't actually see that side. And similarly, I've photocopied onto transparency I copied the transparency sheets, and I've used the copies on the far side. They're not quite as good quality. Anyway, so the island platform is much wider, and instead of having 3 lanes here, 3 tracks here, I'm now down to 2, but that's helped me to extend the length of the actual loop that I can run around, and it's also helped me to extend the platform for the island. So it's now capable of taking a 6-coach train, whereas before it could only manage 5 at the most. And at the other end of my runaround loop, I've got a little bit more plain track between the points and the main line, the points there for the main line, so that slightly longer engines can now run around their train without fouling the main line. And I'll try and show you that in operation. The main change, however, has come with the what used to be my fiddle yard, where there was a railway line coming just round the back of my main layout, and it would come round just to basically an old workbench where I laid out a fiddle yard. And now I've started making that a scenic fiddle yard. It's still kind of a fiddle yard because there's a lot of trains stored here, but I'm imagining it is a very busy seaside terminus, and this is a summer weekend, so lots of passenger trains are coming in here all the time. The scenery is, it's sort of started, but there's so much to do, especially detailing. So I've made a cricket pitch. Obviously, it's what you might call a low relief cricket pitch because I've only got 2/3 of it, and the actual pitch is far too close to the fence, but never mind, it's just a bit of fun. I've got the cricketer set from Langley models, and I've made a Metcalfe cricket pavilion there, and yeah, I'll eventually get the cricketers all painted up, and that'll be ready to go. There's going to be an engine shed covering the front 2 steam locos here, so it's just going to be a super quick engine shed there. I think I'll leave those other 2 roads completely empty. Turntable. The turntable is a very old Triang one. Doesn't work brilliantly, but it looks a lot better than the Hornby one. With all those silly roads sticking off it that the Hornby one has. Plus the Triang one, only the bridge rotates rather than the whole base as well. And next to it I'm going to have a sort of a proper coaling stage. So it's quite a steep ramp. It's going to be brick on this side, and the idea is that the loco coal comes up here and then it's tipped into the locomotives that are in the line here where a Hornby J50 is sitting. And then the rest is basically platforms. I have got a goods shed in the distance. I'm not quite sure if I'll put the goods shed there. I might somehow extend the layout a bit. Don't know how yet. But so the main platforms and stations, they're all from the Metcalfe range, the stone platform, and with that's a stone platform with Pico platform edging, and stone buildings from Metcalfe there. They work quite well. I think I might extend the buildings. I might buy more. They're the older buildings that that actually aren't manufactured anymore. The newer ones have got more expensive. They've got a lot more expensive, and they've got wooden laser cut valances and things like that. But to be honest, from this distance, the old ones are absolutely perfect. Okay, and because I haven't had much time to work on my trains, but because we've had lockdown and we've not gone anywhere, we've not spent any money, I've had the money to spend and buy a few new locos. So although I've been working on I've been into model railways for 45 years, so I have collected quite a few over the years. Quite a few have been purchased in the last 12 months, making up for no holiday, no trips to the pub, no meals out and so on. You can save quite a lot of money that way. And nowhere near as much money spent on petrol either. I think my wife and I, between us, have probably done about 2,000 or 3,000 miles in the last 12 months. So there are the changes to the layout, and now I'm going to get a few trains running. To give an idea of why I like to have a nice runaround loop, imagine a short suburban or local train is coming in off the branch line into the station while the main line is busy with a big oil train. And here comes the branch line train into the station. Slow it down nicely to a halt, and then we will uncouple the engine. Get my uncoupler. Put the camera on a tripod now, just to make things a bit easier for myself. So the train's going to go now to the other end of the loop. Let it back onto its coaches. Hopefully coupled up all right, and departing again down the branch. And I can use this not just for the branch line, but for also any freight trains that come in. If I want to do a bit of shunting, next to the branch line you can see there are 3 freight sidings. So here comes the oil train again, hauled by a much maligned Helljan Tango. Not the best of heavy freight locomotives ever built by the modelling community, but not as bad as some people have made out. So yeah, if I want to do some shunting, I can bring a freight train into the runaround loop, and then I can shunt off its wagons into those 3 sidings there. So that's why I like the runaround loop, and that's why I like it to be quite big. You can put quite a big train in there, 4 decent sized coaches, so big enough for a train that you'd want to go on the branch line, and a freight train that you want to come off the branch line. Let's just get the Tango coming through one more time. As it enters the station, I might even turn it down and stop it in the station. There. Peace is restored at the station. The last change I've made of late is this station up on my other branch line. It used to have the stone Metcalfe terminus type station, which I'm now using on my fiddle yard. So instead I've replaced it with 2 brick buildings that look kind of more basic and more suitable for a small town maybe, or a village. and they were made by a company called Gilmore Models, who produced them, I think, for mainline railways. And they're very, very simple, basic kits, but they actually make up into really nice models. And the colour of the brick is almost identical to the Metcalfe Models brick. So I've used them with a Metcalfe station kit, and the Gilmore Models ones I bought from a toy fair, they cost me £1 each. So I've got two quite decent sized station buildings for £1 each, and the Metcalfe platform was actually more expensive. But that's a better looking sort of little local suburban station there on my other branch line. So that's it for the improvements on my layout. I say improvements. They're improvements as far as I'm concerned, and not a lot of progress in sort of 2 years of modelling, but I have been busy, and I've focused instead on just getting some nice models made. I've been building a few coaches and kits and painting a few things and just tinkering here and there, adding some lights that don't flicker to the station and things like that. Okay, cheerio, hope you've enjoyed this session, and I think I'll post another session with some more trains running soon.